What if I told you that the one thing that has the biggest impact on your success, your relationships, even your happiness, is just the way you think about your own abilities? It's a really powerful idea, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. So, we've all got this little story we tell ourselves, right? It's kind of like this narrator running in the background of our minds all the time. And it shapes, well, pretty much everything, every choice, every reaction. It's the filter for how we see the world. Let me show you what I mean with a quick example. Okay, just picture this. You're having one of those days. I mean, a really bad one. You get a C+ on a midterm for a class you actually care about. Then you find a parking ticket slapped on your windshield. And just to cap it all off, your best friend kind of brushes you off on the phone. You feel that? That frustration? Now, what's the very first thought that pops into your head? Okay, hold that thought. Whatever just popped into your head, don't let it go. Because that immediate gut reaction, it's like a compass, and it points directly to one of two core mindsets that the psychologist Dweck identified in her incredible research. And this is where we get to the heart of it all. On one side, you've got the fixed mindset. This is the belief that your talents, your intelligence, they're basically set in stone. You've got a certain amount, and that's that. You're either a natural or you're not. But then on the other side, you've got the growth mindset. And this is the belief that your abilities can be developed, through hard work and dedication. Your brain and your talent, they're just the starting line, not the finish. Now, here's what's so important to get. These aren't just, feel-good ideas. These two mindsets create completely different worlds for us to live in. And you really see that difference when things get tough, when you're up against a real challenge or dealing with failure. And when it comes to effort, wow, it's a whole different ballgame. For someone in a fixed mindset, having to try hard is actually kind of scary. It feels like proof that you don't have the gift. The thinking goes, if I were really smart, this would just be easy. But in a growth mindset, effort is everything. It's the key that unlocks your potential. It's what literally makes you smarter. There's this really powerful, almost heartbreaking story about a violin prodigy. She said, "Nothing is harder than saying, I gave it my all and it wasn't good enough." Just think about that. She was so terrified that if she tried her absolute hardest and still failed, it would mean she wasn't a real prodigy. That fear of effort got so bad she actually stopped bringing her violin to her lessons. It was just paralyzing. And it's the exact same thing with failure. For the fixed mindset, failing isn't just something that happens, it's who you are. It becomes a label. You get a bad grade and you think, I'm stupid. You mess up and you think, I'm a loser. But for the growth mindset, failure is just information. It's data. It's a signal telling you, hey, try something different. It's not a brick wall, it's just a detour. I mean, take a legend like Muhammad Ali. When you look at the raw stats, he wasn't supposed to be the natural. His opponent, Sonny Liston, was the one everyone thought had the pure physical talent. But Ali's secret weapon? It was his mind. He was constantly learning, adapting, outthinking his opponents. His manager put it perfectly. Victories come from here, tapping his head, not from here, making a fist. That is the growth mindset in the ring. Okay, so understanding the difference is huge, but you're probably wondering, how do I actually, do this? How do I make that shift? Well, it turns out there's a ridiculously simple but powerful tool you can start using right now. And it all boils down to one little 3-letter word. Come on, you've heard this a million times, right? Maybe you've even said it. I'm just not a math person. See how final that sounds? It's a closed door, a verdict, the end of the conversation. But what happens if we just add that one little word? Yet. Seriously. That's it. That one little word changes absolutely everything. It takes that period at the end of the sentence and turns it into a comma. I mean, the shift is just massive. Think about it. I can't do this just feels like game over. It's a wall. But I can't do this yet completely reframes it. It says, okay, I'm not there right now, but it's possible. It implies that with more practice or a different approach, you can get there. That brick wall suddenly has a door in it. So at the end of the day, what yet really does is it gives you permission to be a work in progress. It makes it okay to struggle. It says that the learning curve is totally normal, not a sign that you're failing. It's like building a little bridge from where you are now to where you want to be. And maybe this is the most important part of this whole conversation. Your mindset isn't permanent. It's not who you are. It's just a belief. And you know what? Beliefs can be changed.
This is so empowering because it means you can actively choose to build a growth mindset for yourself.
So, what does that look like in the real world? Well, for starters, you learn to embrace challenges. You see them as chances to grow, not tests to fail. You start to value smart effort, trying new strategies, not just banging your head against the wall doing the same thing over and over. You also have to get comfortable with mistakes. They're not a judgment on you, they're just proof you're trying something new. And maybe the biggest shift of all, you stop trying to prove how smart you are to everyone, and you just focus on improving.
And here's the really cool part. This isn't just some nice psychological theory. This is actual neuroscience. Scientists can literally see that when you learn new things and push yourself, your brain physically changes. The connections between your neurons get stronger. It's like a muscle. The more you work it out, the stronger it gets. You are literally building a more powerful brain.
So, that story you tell yourself, it's not set in stone. You're the one holding the pen. Your brain, your talents, your abilities, they aren't some limited resource you have to protect. They're more like seeds you get to plant and nurture. So the real question is, what will you build next?